What's up? Welcome back to What Have You Missed This Week? Today we have it's probably going to be the longest podcast of the week because I'm just going to go over everything that happened this week in the community, in the rap culture community. So I'm only going to go over what I didn't, or like what's happened since the last podcast, because going over all of what's happened this week would be just crazy. But in and of itself, what has happened from Wednesday to today is crazy. And before we get into today's podcast, I have linked my Instagram and YouTube and all my socials in the bio of the podcast. So you can just go and click on it if you're on mobile. And then if you're on a computer, then I think you just have to copy and paste it. But yeah, go follow me on Instagram. I am doing this on Sunday, but normally they're going to be on Saturdays because, but that's how it's going to go. So starting up, I did have a sleepover last night, so I'm a little tired. So we're just going to see how long I can last for this. But first thing up on the long list of things that have happened since Wednesday, Lil Uzi Vert gifted JT a present. He gifted her his first piece, in quotation marks. It was like a gold iced out Cuban link chain with a pendant of Uzi from his album Lil Uzi Vert versus the World. The pendant was also gold and iced out as well. On the back of the piece, it said Uzi first piece to JT, and then the piece was made by Eliante. You could see in like there was a box that said Eliante, and then she also had a ring that was in a box that said Eliante, and it was like an iced out gold ring too. So she posted this on Instagram and all that. It was very nice. I don't know if he's had that piece and he just decided to put to JT on the back, or if he got that piece made for her. I don't know, because it says Uzi's first piece, so this could have been his first piece of like jewelry that he has got made by Eliante. So maybe I don't know what's going on with that. Next up, the TikTok founder, I forgot how to pronounce his name, could be sitting on a fat $60 billion. The guy who owns a quarter of TikTok's parent company, I think it's called ByteDance, would be on par with Tencent billionaire I think his name is Panima or something like that. But yeah, crazy, 60 billion, and I don't know if he's the founder of TikTok, so that's crazy. 60 billion. I don't know what like his net worth is, or where he sits on, like compared to some other people. Let me see his net worth real quick. So the guy's name is Zhang Yiming, and his net worth is $35.4 billion. So pretty good. Right along, the best part of the whole week, New Music Friday, the absolute best part of the whole week, especially when a bunch of people that are like amazing drop. So for example, if you missed and you don't keep up with this, but we have projects from YSL. We had Slime Language 2, Young Thug and Gunna themselves dropped Slime Language 2. This album is easily a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10 if they put that Juice WRLD song on there, but easily a 10 out of 10. All the songs on there are bangers. It kind of is like, there's like melodic beats in there, and then there's like the hard like Young Thug beats in there. It's crazy. Nav is on there, Gunna's on there. I'm trying to think who else is. It was crazy. Slatty is probably by far the best song on there. I always forget how to say his name. Kiniza dropped a project Back to Life, and the song on there with Future is absolutely fire. I forget the name of it, but go check out his project. He has a song with Future on there. Kenny Mason dropped an album, Supercut. A lot of other people dropped albums. I'm just going through like people you might know. Sweetie dropped an album, Pretty Summer Playlist Season 1. Zaytoven and Faux 15 dropped an album called Zaytoven Presents Faux 15. And then the singles. 504 dropped Self Made. IDK dropped Shoot My Shot featuring Offset, and that song is an absolute bop, absolute banger. And then the Nibukinza song Questions, that's what it's called. Questions featuring Future. NLE was supposed to drop, but he didn't. He was supposed to drop 35 Shots, but that didn't drop. Lil Baby dropped On Me remix featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Suicide Boys dropped new profile pic. And I have more news on them later. Because they recently dropped their recently dropped their label. So we'll get more into that. Tootsie dropped What It Cost. So like a bunch of people you got to keep up. I follow Records, Rap, and Our Generation's Music on Instagram, and they all drop like all on Thursday night. They'll drop like whoever's dropping on Friday night. Like they'll separate it into albums and singles, and they'll all just drop like who's keep you in the loop. So Slime Language 2, absolute banger. Love the project. It is so good. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely the best album that's dropped this year so far. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Next up, we have the top 10 richest rappers of 2021. So let me just pull this up real quick.
After a couple of hits, the money doesn't always come in the same. Too often we've seen the words that J. Cole spit on 1985 come true. As we see more and more rappers be irresponsible with their finances, it becomes even more important to highlight those who are not. Join us as we dive into the top 10 richest rappers in the music industry.
I bet Drake. I hope. Oh, Pharrell. Really?
Pharrell is an artist, songwriter, producer, rapper.
I haven't watched this video yet, so I'm
surprised
as you.
Nothing this man can't do. After his insane single run that he did with Happy,
Dang.
Blurred Lines,
I didn't know that Pharrell would be on this album on this list because I didn't think he would be like. I didn't think he was a rapper like that.
Put any financial concerns that he may have had at ease. One might assume that Pharrell made all his money from music and the movie industry, but he is just as much as a fashion mogul as he is an artist. Ice Cube.
Okay, I can see that. I expected that.
He's not only a legend in hip-hop, but he's a true OG in black culture. From giving us unforgettable movies like Boys in the Hood and Friday, to dropping iconic songs like The Police and Straight Outta Compton, O'Shea Jackson has absolutely solidified himself as a cornerstone in hip-hop and pop culture.
Yep.
And Ice Cube is still putting out music to this day,
Oh,
and his
really?
work has amassed him a net worth of over $150 million.
Dang.
Drake.
Yup.
Weezy to hand it off, and he still ain't got no fumbles. Drake went from being a Nickelodeon Degrassi star to being one of the most revered names in hip-hop and pop culture.
Really?
Topping the charts all year round, dropping the most valuable features in the music industry, giving away $1 million in the God's Plan video. Clearly, this man has no problem when it comes to cash.
Mm-hmm.
Usher. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Usher isn't a rapper, right? Okay,
Oh, wait.
a second, bear with me. He's one of the most successful artists in the world, so we're going to include him on this list, and easily one of the most notorious R&B artists in the game. Usher has been putting out classics since his
Okay, never
teenage
mind. I was
years.
about to say
Usher
something,
was
but
able
never
to land
mind.
his first number one at just 18 years old. Throughout the years, Usher has suffered many different hardships, such as lawsuits and divorce, which had a direct impact on his wealth. This has in no way prevented him from being a successful musician and having a successful life. Usher makes a majority of his income from endorsement deals and from his streaming numbers. Usher's net worth is just under $200 million.
Dang.
Master P. Now, who is Master P? Master P is the face of creating
I've never even heard about this guy. How's
for
he even
years
on
to
here?
come. This man took the music industry head on and created his own independent record label, which he was offered $1 million for in the 90s. Master P denied this offer and went on to make hundreds of millions on his own. Master P claims he was always a businessman, and ever since he was a teenager, he would be hustling in the projects selling cell phones throughout the slums of New Orleans.
Dang.
After
I didn't
winning
know
a
that.
settlement, Master P went on to open his label, No Limit, and the rest was history. Eminem. From
Yup.
being a
You see
struggling
that?
battle rapper in the streets of Detroit to becoming one of the richest rappers of all time, Eminem is a walking affirmation that hard work certainly does pay off. Securing his spot as one of the
I
greatest
would not
lyricists
speak.
of all time in the late 90s.
I would not be surprised if he was #1 on the
Eminem still
list.
isn't finished over 2 decades later, still hitting the charts and still dropping #1 albums. Dr. Dre found Eminem in Detroit before anyone outside the city knew who he was and put him in a position to sell millions with his debut album and then go on to have the most diamond records out of any musician
6
in
diamond
history.
records. That's crazy.
Now, while Eminem has battled with personal demons, addiction, and depression, his fans have stayed by his side and the money hasn't gone anywhere at all. Dr. Dre.
Yup.
With a
You
net
see
worth that's
that?
closing in on $1 billion, Dr. Dre
Dang.
is easily one of the richest
$1
artists on the
billion
list.
net worth.
In 2019, Forbes acknowledged him as the rapper who earned the most in the entire decade. Dre was heavily
But
involved
now that's
in some
Kanye.
of the biggest artists and pop culture icons in the world, from NWA, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, Anderson .Paak, and the list goes on and on and on. Dr. Dre founded Beats in 2014 and later sold the business for $3 billion, and to this day he is still a
Wow.
20% stakeholder.
I did not know that.
Genius-level investor in the studio and in the corporate office. Diddy. Puffy is one of the most notorious faces in the business, but he actually started his journey to near billionaire status by delivering newspapers, and that's where he claimed to have learned a lot of valuable lessons that he still cherishes to this day. Puffy has produced some of the most iconic works in hip-hop, landing a #1 record that stayed at the top of the charts for 28 weeks straight, started his own record
Wow.
label, developed countless artists, did some acting, and then invested in Ciroc, which is now his #1 cash cow. Hove. Sean Carter is the living embodiment of becoming your own boss. From the streets to
Jay-Z.
the corporate offices, Jay-Z's reputation precedes him. He was rejected by all the major labels, so he made a major label. Figured he'd rather wear his own clothing line instead of promoting someone else's, so he did that.